What's up, YouTube? Today I am going to talk about the DJS 1000 again. I've been playing with it a little bit more, and now I found a few another. I know on the other video I was comparing it to the TORAIZ and I had it side by side, and it's still here. It's just that I had to move a few things, and in order for me to do another video side by side, I would have to disconnect everything, put it side by side, and just to show you, look at the spaghetti I got going back here. So that's a hassle to deal with all that. And I really don't want to start unplugging stuff and doing that mess again. But I will show what I just learned on this device that the TORAIZ doesn't have, and it's an awesome feature because on the TORAIZ, which is right here, I can get the volume up. I can play. It's the same thing. I created that track over here, and like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it before, and if I didn't, well, I'll mention it now. In order for me to transfer what I made over here on the DJM, I had to unplug the USB drive, plug it into the computer, and copy everything onto this USB drive so I can see it. Because if I just unplug it from one unit to the other, it will not see it. I don't know if that's something it's supposed to do. I know I saw somewhere, I think on, I don't know if it was on the Pioneer site or where it was, that we were able to use, you know, anything we create on the DJM, use it on a TORAIZ. You can do it, but I thought you could just unplug it, blam, bloom, plug it on the other one, and you're done. And that wasn't the case. I don't know if there's an easier way. I haven't really looked into see if there's an easier way for that. But I just copied it into the project folder. The project from the DJS, I copied it into the project folder of the TORAIZ, and then along that I had to copy the samples that I used, because if not, you're gonna get everything in blank. So anyway, the track's here, right? It's just kicks and whatnot. Now, it's on 7. If I wanted to mute all this and play it, that's fine, right? But when I move to 8, see? I move to 8, it stays muted. Now let's do it on this one. 7. It's on 7. Right? I'm gonna mute. Same thing I muted over there. Now I switch to 8. When I switch to 8, see, it comes in. I just muted that on 7. So what I'm trying to say here is, what I like a lot about this unit here, and on that feature at least, is that you don't have to, you can do one whole set, and don't have to redo it on 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. You don't have to redo all that. You can do one set, copy it to all of them, and then take out and put in anything you want during the pattern. Like, I'm gonna play this track. This whole track, I'm gonna play it. Right there, I didn't know yet. So from 1 to about 7 or 8, it's probably just me putting in stuff as far as the pattern goes, but not muting, not using the mute. The mute comes in from 9 to the end is where I learned I didn't have to do everything I was doing. All I had to do was put it all in there, and then you know, mute whatever I didn't want in that piece or whatnot, and then unmute it later on or whatever, you know. So right now it's just that. I'm gonna let it roll. That's when the music started. Okay, I actually started there on 7. See, muted. Right there, I muted the top 4 on pattern 10. Top 3. And there it is. Another good feature that I was talking about. That's like awesome right there. They should have thought of this a long time ago, but it is a real good feature. I really like that. It saves so much time, man. I mean, you know what it is to just go pattern by pattern, and because when I started, let me see if I can get into there. Like, okay, pattern 1. You go in pattern 1, I really don't have much in there. Look, well, let me take the mute out. I got the kicks all the way. On number 2, I got kicks. And what else? Not much. Oh, whoops. What am I doing? Number 2, okay. That's all I got. On number 2, the kick and that. Then I go to pattern 3, what do I have? Got the kick. Got that, of course. That. You see, it was like, it was a lot. I mean, I could have just done everything on the first one and then start muting all the way as I go, like put the whole thing, which I think number 9 has like almost a whole set of everything I use. Almost. Pretty much everything. So I could just do everything on one, copy it all throughout all 16 of them. Man, I'm probably not even showing the camera. Hold on. Probably on one, and then do it, copy it throughout the whole thing, and then on one, mute out whatever I don't want to sound. Let's say if I just want the kick to begin with or whatever, or just the hi-hats, start with that. Then on the second one, start throwing in a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then maybe a build up around here, and then on the second line, you know, get some action going or whatnot. Like when I ended it right here, started throwing in that snare. You know, something like that. That's a good feature. I really like that mute thing, Pioneer. And now another thing that I do like that this one don't have, that's a comparison, not side by side, but pretty close to side by side. But another feature that I did notice and liked, and I should have said it on the first side by side because it's really noticeable, is this. This is that the same thing we have on the CDJs. Let me take this camera out. I really like using the deck savers because this place catches a lot of dust and it really helps. That's that. And the good thing about that I really like is that I set the DJS as master. I set it as master so everything else could follow. We don't have that on our TORAIZ. The TORAIZ is just a follower. It'll follow whatever's the master. You know, you can't set this one to be the main unit, you know, so everything could follow it. But on the DJS, even using the CDJs, I like using it as a master, because here's the deal. I can have, let's say this one set as master, right? And everything else is following. And it's 100 and whatever beats per minute. And then when I load a track on this side, this one automatically becomes a master, but then it might not be at the same beats per minute. So when it's not at the same BPM, it throws off everything else. Like this, it'll throw it off immediately. It throws this off. Like, it'll throw it off. It's hard to keep up with it. Now, another thing is that when I create something, let's say I make something here on the TORAIZ, and if it's a sample that's, let's say 32, or it might not even have to be 32. It could be 16. It could be 16 seconds. Well, if you try to use this right here, the time stretch, to keep it, you know, at the speed, it'll probably slow it down or something. It won't keep it exactly like if it has to be a perfect loop at the four, you know, the 4 bars that we have here, completely from beginning to end, measured out like perfectly, so you can use this and it won't really do much. You know, you won't notice a big difference. Now if it's more seconds, it'll probably slow it down. It may speed it up. I'm not too sure, but I've already experienced it that it does any or either one of them. Either one of them. So, you know, in that case, I don't like messing around too much with the sync when I know it has like a sample that's not too, you know, not perfect or anything like that. But yesterday I was playing with this a little while, and I love to keep this one as the master because I have it on channel. Let's say I got a player one, keep it as master. I can come right here, boom, lower down the volume and still let it play, just so these two can follow. That's all, you know. I use it as a guide, just so the other ones will follow, and it'll keep in sync. And whatever I load up, you know, it won't go out. It won't go off sync or whatnot. You know, it won't mess up the rest. And then I could use this one, the TORAIZ, and it'll just keep following, because since this one's the master, it'll just keep following. I really like the way it works like that. I played with it yesterday, and I found it to be more effective when I keep the DJS as the master than using anything else, like any of the CDJs as master, or you know, or keeping it. Sometimes I'm doing, you know, 125 BPM is what I like to create tracks in, because normally, like, at 125, I can go up to 130 with no big difference, and I can go down to 120, and sometimes even 115 if it's a slower type of house or a dance track. Well, I like it like that, because if I go up too high, like 130 or something, well, to bring it down to 120, that's a pretty big leap, and even 115. So, and that's that. So that's a good feature right there. That right there, I keep it in master. We talked about the USB sticks that I have to copy it on the computer. We talked about the mute. What else? The notch feature is good. What else did I have in mind here? I had something else in mind I can't remember right now, and it was about something. I mentioned before we didn't have an arranger, so. The effects, well, the effects is good, but it'll affect, you can't do it individually, you know, it'll affect the whole. You can pick which one you want to affect, but it's going to be the same effect. You can't choose like a dub echo for track 1, and then let's say I want something else, a pitch echo for track 2. You can't do that. It's one to affect the whole thing. Pretty much like the Dave instruments over here. Right here, you can choose which one you want to use this filter on, but you can't, you know, you can't use a different setting for each one. So that's pretty good, but you know, we would like to see it on separate channels, but that's probably it's just one machine in here, one effect unit inside, so that probably won't happen. Anyway, at least we have this piece right here. I mean, not this piece, but take the sampling out, go in here. But that piece right here, which is the other ones are the effects that the TORAIZ have. Well, yeah, that's about that. I really like this unit, man. I like to mix for DJ. Like, if you would ask me which one is better, which one I think is better, I couldn't pick. I could not pick because this one has some things that this one don't have. I think that's the point of why you're doing it like this. Cause like if I'm DJing, of course I'm gonna have to say this one is better. If I'm DJing, but if I'm making tracks and you know making a full song or you know, I gotta say the TORAIZ because the TORAIZ has the arranger in there and that's really helpful. I mean the TORAIZ, that arranger for me is important because I like to do both things. I like to DJ and I like to create, you know, full songs and not have to, you know, do it manually. So, well, that's what it is, man. And I had something else to say about this guy, but I forgot. So I guess when I remember, I remember, and I'll let you know. So, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I like that undo. It has record and the undo, which TORAIZ doesn't have. You can undo your tracks. How do you do it? Of course, the shift. It's recording, hit shift, record, and it undoes it. Another thing that now this doesn't have with the. Let's go to the mixer. See on this mixer section right here. Okay, that's the mixer section of the DJS. Now we're going to the mixer section of this. We have this option that we don't have on the other one. This one right here, the ascend. What the hell? Go back. This right here. Not the analog. We already know that's the Dave Smith. But this right here, you see, on the ascend, on the master, you can put effects in there and compression and whatnot. And we can't do that over here. But you can do that individually if you wanted to. And that's about it, man. I don't think I have anything else right now. This video is what? Damn, 27 minutes too long, man. I'm going to have to edit this one. And then... Alright, guys. That's all I have right now, man. I can't remember anything else. So, guys, I'm going to let y'all go about your business. And see y'all in the next video. Whoa, 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 whoa.